Hey guys, so today I will be making my Galaxy S2 versus my new Nexus 4 smartphone. Little look here. So we will be taking a look at a flagship device from Sammy Boy from last year, 2011, the Galaxy S2 versus the new Nexus 4 here from LG, and which is the new Nexus device that's getting the latest version of Android first. So let's go ahead now and take a quick look here at some different things like the design. We're going to go ahead and talk about specs. We're going to go ahead and do some speed testing as well. So first I'm just going to go ahead and close everything I have open up here in the background. There we go. So let's go ahead now and first off just start talking about the design. So when we go ahead and turn off both these two displays, you can see that the new Nexus 4 is a little bit bigger here. One of the big things that makes these devices very different here on the front side, of course, is that you get you know that the kind of buttons that you get inside of the Nexus 4 is built into the display. So you have 3 capacitive touch buttons. But on the surface here you don't have any buttons down here. You know, the buttons are built into the display, and then of course you have like a little blinking thing down there. While of course on the Galaxy S2 we get this real hardware button down here that you can tap on, and then of course we have these 2 buttons also at the side, but they're not like built into the display. So of course that's the biggest thing here that makes these 2 devices different. You have the Samsung logo up here, of course, at the top, and then you don't have anything here. But it's a very clean look here on the Nexus 4, especially on the front side here. Very clean compared to the Galaxy S2, which is, you know, it has the text up here, it has some things up here. Of course, you have both the front-facing camera there up at the top. So that's basically the you know, the front side. If you go ahead now and take a quick look here at the bottom, you can see that both has a kind of port there to charge up the devices. And you can see up here, if you look at the top, both have their kind of headphone jack there as well. Left side, you can see that both has, you know, you have up and down keys up here on both. But then, just because you don't have any removable battery on the Nexus 4, they have placed the SIM card on this side here, so you can input your card there. While of course on the Galaxy S2 you need to remove the back, you know, on the side over here. And for some reason it's very hard with this case that I have on right now to remove the back. Kind of weird. And if you take a look here, of course you have if you remove the back here on the Galaxy S2, of course you have that removable battery as well, and you do have the option to insert an SD card up to 64GB. You don't get that option here on the Nexus device. You both have an 8 megapixel camera here on both also, but it's located here in the middle on the Galaxy S2. You can see the text here, but of course you can have different kinds of backs here on the Galaxy S2, because, you know, you can remove the back, but you have this kind of like crystal surface on the Nexus 4. You also have this kind of rubber side around the whole device. So also if you know, you have kind of like a glass back here on the Nexus device, and I'm pretty sure that, you know, you can see that, you know, Apple went with the glass back on their iPhone 4 and iPhone 4S. With the iPhone 5 they removed the glass back, and I think that's a good thing, because when you use the device you can see it moves around. Well, I'm just doing very simple things here if you have a glass back. Also, if you would drop this device, the glass back might shatter, okay? And that's of course not fun. While, you know, on the Galaxy S2, when you're doing things like on the screen, it doesn't move around because it has a plastic back, which is something that I often do like more, and that it's harder to break it if you accidentally would like drop it or something. So quick look at that. Let's go ahead and take a look at some specs. Of course, these 2 devices, they aren't 4G capable. So that's one of the very big things there in the beginning, that you can't have 4G on any of these devices. But I've seen some people have been hacking around with the Nexus 4 and been you know, successfully having some kind of 4G working on some kind of carrier. The Galaxy S2, of course, is available in 4G variants, but the one that I have over here, it's not a 4G variant. If you take a look here also, of course you have the mini SIM technology here on the Galaxy S2, while you get the new micro SIM technology here on the Nexus 4. Basically it's the same kind of SIM card, but it's in a smaller form factor for the Nexus 4. Also, this is a 2011 device from February, while the new Nexus 4, of course, is a new October device here, 2012. If you take a look at some dimensions here, of course, you can see that the little Nexus device is a little bigger, and also it is a little bit longer. It is a tiny bit wider, and also it's a little bit thinner actually. So something that of course is a little bit nice here, but the Galaxy S2 is a little bit lighter. But overall, you know, when you have these two devices in your hand, I mean, just because the Nexus 4 is a little bit more curved, it doesn't really feel that much bigger. And just because, I mean, the screen is a 4.7 inch screen here on the Nexus 4, while it's a 4.3 inch screen here on the Galaxy S2, but they kind of feel the same because the screen aren't actually 4.6 inch or 4.7 inch exactly, because you know this kind of row down here with buttons that's taking up a little bit, so it's really not that of a big deal to go from a Galaxy S2 to a Nexus 4. You know, even though I like big smartphones and I have a very big smartphone, so you know I do know that, you know, of course not everyone likes it, but it's really not that of a big deal here. Like the screen is a little bit bigger, it's a little bit bigger. So you get a Super AMOLED Plus display here on the Galaxy S2, while of course on the new Nexus 4 you get LG's True HD IPS Plus display that should be kind of the same as you would get on an iPhone. And you know, the kind of screen technology that you would prefer more, you can see that you get more like saturated colors, more like vibrant colors on the Super AMOLED display. Could have this kind of cartoon feeling. Blacks look definitely a lot more black, which is something that I do enjoy, but white looks like more white, at least according to me on the True HD IPS Plus display. And I definitely think that when you're reading stuff, when you know, go ahead and check out the Kindle app, white definitely is, you know, the True HD IPS display is way better. But if you do a lot of, you know, if you're, you know, watch a lot of movies and, you know, on your phone and stuff like that, then I think the Super AMOLED Plus really is going to be your little thing there that you will like more. But I mean, like, as you can see here, we have like the YouTube logo up here. You can see that it's a little bit more light here, while it's a little bit, you know, have a little bit more of a, you know, cartoon feeling, at least, you know, according to me here on the Super AMOLED, you know, display. Let's see here if we find the Google Chrome logo. Here you can definitely see that it's a lot more like lighter colors on the True HD IPS Plus display compared to the Super AMOLED Plus display. Whatever you now prefer, both are of course amazing displays. And the screen resolution is something that's really different on both these two devices. You get 480x800 here on the Galaxy S2, while you get a 720p display, 768x1280 resolution here on the Nexus 4. You probably get, you know, they probably bumped up the screen from 720x1280 on the Nexus 4 to 768x1280, just because you get this kind of row here with the capacitive touch buttons. And you know, just because it has such higher, you know, higher resolution than Nexus 4, the PPI is of course a lot higher than on the Galaxy S2, so you get 318 pixels per inch, while on the so you can really see here, probably a little bit harder in the video to see, but you really get like amazing clear text used as an iPhone. While on the Galaxy S2 only have 217 pixels per inch, so the text ain't as clear as you would get, of course, on this new device. And this is something you probably will see a big difference in, especially if you do a lot of reading and stuff. Also, in terms of, you know, the kind of protection you get on both these two devices, you get the new Gorilla Glass 2 on this Nexus 4 device, and a lot of high-end devices for this year has Gorilla Glass 2, which should be protecting the device a lot more against scratches, while you only get the first version here of Gorilla Glass. But I've been doing scratch tests, a scratch test on the Galaxy S2 and the Galaxy S3, and both, very durable against it, so it shouldn't be any problem whatsoever. But Gorilla Glass 2 should definitely be a lot better and stronger compared to the first version of Gorilla Glass. Now, in terms of storage, this is something that's very much better on the Galaxy S2. You get 60 and 32 gigabyte variants. And then also you get 1 gigabyte RAM here, while you get 2 gigabytes RAM here, which should be better for multitasking. But you also get the SD card option here on the Galaxy S2. While this is one very bad thing about the Nexus 4, that it's only in 8 and 16 gigabyte variants, no 32 or 64 gigabyte variants, and you don't get any SD card options. So the maximum you can have on a Nexus device is 16 gigabyte. But I still think that for most people, not for like hardcore geeks, but I think most people will survive on that. Maybe a little bit hard if you have a lot of high-end games on your smartphone. In terms of NFC, it should be optional for the Galaxy S2, while it definitely exists on the Nexus 4 for mobile payments and things like that. In terms of the camera, which could be something that is kind of interesting, it's an 8 megapixel camera on both these two devices, and they think Samsung is using kind of the same camera sensor in the Galaxy S2 and in the Galaxy S3. There's really not that of a big difference in terms of quality in like pictures, and from what I've seen, the white balance is like better on the Nexus 4, but the camera lags a little bit when you move around, and we'll take a quick look at that pretty soon here. But that's something that could be very, very bad, and could be a reason why you don't want to pick up the Nexus 4, because it's a little bit like the HTC One X camera. When you move around, sure, the white balance is a little better, but I don't want to have a sharp experience when I move around, so of course that's something that I don't really like over there. Now, if you talk about the front-facing camera, of course, both these two devices also have front-facing camera. So you get the 1.3 megapixel one here on the Nexus 4, while you get the 2 megapixel one on the Galaxy S2. Both are, of course, rocking Android if you haven't seen it already. But the good thing with the Nexus 4 device is that you get the latest version of Android first, before everyone else, and Google, themselves are the ones that's pushing out the updates. So it's a clean version here of Android. So I'm currently rocking Android 4.2.1 Jelly Bean here on my Nexus 4, while I'm only rocking Android 4.0 Ice Cream Sandwich here on my Galaxy S2. So software-wise, there's a very, very big advantage here on the Nexus 4, especially if you don't like to flash stuff yourself, because I'm running the official latest over-the-air update on both these two devices. So you get Android 4.2.1 and Android 4.1 and 4.2, of course, is Jelly Bean version of Android with Private Butter, which is making everything even more smooth, and especially menus when you change page and all those good things, compared to Android 4.0 Ice Cream Sandwich that we currently rock here on the Galaxy S2. But of course, if you flash stuff yourself, if you flash firmwares and things, you can go ahead and get all those things here on the Galaxy S2, but then you have to play around with it a little bit yourself. So of course that in terms of software, it's a lot better here on the Nexus 4. If you take a look at the chipset, of course Samsung's using their own Exynos chipset, which performs kind of like very, very good for, this device is getting, close to like 2 years old, while the LG device here is using APQ8064 from, Qualcomm. It's a Snapdragon chipset, and it's quad-core here, 1.5 gigahertz Crate processor that is being used in the Nexus 4, and I'm currently testing it out. However, I made one review on the Nexus 4 versus like the Galaxy S3, I'm pretty sure, but it's an interesting processor, in the it's running the latest software, but I really don't think that it's better than the Galaxy S3's processor that's quad core. So you get a dual core processor here, of course, only on the Galaxy S2, but still performs extremely good. I tried out Jelly Bean on it, And while it's not maybe extremely as smooth, well, most of the things are very smooth. Even, it's rocking a dual core processor, clocked at 1.2 gigahertz. It's based on Cortex A9. But, it's still very good for a phone that's getting close to 2 years old. But of course, just because I'm rocking Android 4.0 ice cream sandwich, it's not as snappy here as the Android 4.2 Jelly Bean that you get, right out of the box. On the Nexus 4. So, but if you flash Android 4.1 Jelly Bean, you will get a better experience. Probably not as good as Nexus 4, but almost, especially in the transitions, because Android 4.1 Jelly Bean with Project Butter is really making the experience amazing there. In terms of the GPU, you still get a very good GPU here. On the Galaxy S2, the Mali 400 multi-processor GPU, where you get the Adreno 320 GPU here on the Nexus 4. And I tried out the GPU a little bit in games like GTA 3 and GTA Vice City, and it really does feel that, that those kinds of games aren't optimized for the Adreno 320 GPU compared to Mali 400. So I've been making gameplays of that game on the Galaxy S2, and I think kind of like it performs like a little bit better here than the Adreno 320 GPU here. But maybe if Rockstar optimized their games for Adreno 320, it will perform better. I'm not sure. In terms of battery life here, also you get a 2100 milliamp battery here on the Nexus 4 device, while you only get 1650 milliamp battery here on the Galaxy S2. And also that it's a quad-core smartphone. The Nexus 4 should mean that the cores is using that the battery life should be even better. The more cores, usually the better, from what I've heard. So the battery life should be very good here. But Samsung also is very good at optimizations and things like that in terms of battery, from my own experience. But did really have some problems with the last Galaxy Nexus, or the last Nexus device. It really did drain my battery quick compared to my Galaxy S2. But still you get a lot more battery power there in the Nexus 4 device. So definitely one thing there that is a lot better. If you go now and take a look at some fun things here and do some fun testing, let's go ahead and do this. So we're gonna go ahead and fire up the web browser on both these two devices. And I'm just going to go to a website on both these two devices. So we're going to go ahead and go to Pocket now. And I'm using Google Chrome browser here. I'm using the stock browser on both these two devices. There you go, you can see it load up quicker here, even though it's only the mobile version. Let's go ahead and go down and go to the desktop version. Definitely you can also see here that the display seems to be a little broader, and for me personally it looks like the colors are a little bit more real here on the Nexus 4 device. Both loading. There we go. The Nexus 4 finished up, I think, a little bit quicker. But here you can also see a problem with the glass back here on the Nexus 4. It kind of moves around when I'm doing things here with one finger. And one thing that I definitely have noticed is a lot better here on the Galaxy S2. And also on the Galaxy S3 compared to the Nexus 4 is that when you zoom in and out, it doesn't really seem like they calibrated the zoom in a lot good. Because as you can see, I already started here trying to zoom in, and it's very slow to react that I'm trying to zoom in, while it's a lot quicker on the Galaxy S2 and also on the Galaxy S3. But of course here in terms of performance, when you go in and out, it is a little bit choppy. You can see here in terms of the graphics compared to the Nexus 4, which performs a lot better there personally. If you go ahead and try to go up and down, it's very good here on both. But the GPU has to work a little bit more here. It's not as smooth when you go in and out here, but it's quicker to react on the Galaxy S2, and that's something that I definitely do appreciate a lot. And I really do appreciate that there's no glass back on the Galaxy S2, because as you can see, this device is move around when I only try to do this. So let's say you have your device laying on the table, and then you want to zoom in and out. You don't want your device to move around like this. It's kind of like annoying. So let's go ahead now and let's go ahead and tap on something. In terms of loading, here it seems like it's a little bit quicker on the Nexus 4, even though they're both still loading here the page. There we go, the Nexus 4 finished up a little bit quicker. You can see a lot darker colors here on the Galaxy S2 because of the Super AMOLED Plus display and the Super AMOLED technology, while white looks a lot more white here on this the True HD IPS display. For me personally, white looks a lot better, and it seems like, you know, I prefer, especially in the browser, the True HD IPS kind of display here. You can really see that black ain't as black here on the Nexus 4. Also, let's go ahead and see if we go up here. Also, you can see a little quick pictures here of an iPad. And if you go ahead and go up now, let's go ahead and go to another very, very colorful website. There we go, you can see the loading time is a lot better here on the Nexus 4, but it should be because it's run the latest version of Android. There we go, it has finished up here on the Nexus 4 and also on the Galaxy S2. You know, I think it looks a lot better here personally on the True HD IPS display. You know, in terms of the colors and everything, it looks way better. It has a little bit more of a cartoon feeling here on the Galaxy S2, even though it still looks amazing on both. Let's go ahead and see here if we can go ahead and take a look here. So as we could see, this is what it looks like. Darker colors, a lot darker on the Super AMOLED display. White is a lot, you know, a lot more white. And probably people will complain on this video, oh my god, you talk so much about the display. Well, I think the display is very important, so, you know, that's the reason why I'm doing that. And it seems like, again, the Nexus 4 is loading up quicker here. But the big things definitely are that, you know, loading time is a little bit better here on the Nexus device. I think the display also, True HD IPS, works better in the browser because it's a lot, you know, many white colors. And also, but what I think is better here with the Galaxy S2 is that the phone doesn't move around when I zoom in and out. It's really like a big thing for me. I think it's really, really nice that it doesn't move around. You know, and also that the zoom thing, that it's a lot quicker to react when I'm trying to zoom in here. But I gotta say, in terms of the browser, definitely the winner is here the Nexus 4, because most of the times you probably won't have your device, you know, probably most of the times when you're in your browser, you're gonna have it in your hand, and then the glass back won't really do that much. But you know, I really hope that they fix the browser, that you don't have to, you know, that it takes such a long time for it to react. But still, the Nexus 4 seems to be the winner here in the browser area. So let's go ahead now and continue down. Let's go ahead and try to fire up Google Plus on both these two devices. There we go, finished up very, very quick, of course, because there's not that much load. There we go, a tiny bit quicker here on the Nexus 4. Let's go ahead and go down here. You can also see on the picture, really, you can see that the displays are so much different from each other here. The Nexus 4 is a little bit quicker here in terms of loading, but really not that, you know, a big difference, because it's a mobile app, and mobile apps usually don't have that much to load on both these two devices. Let's go ahead and fire up YouTube. There we go, a little bit quicker on the Nexus 4. Let's go ahead and tap over here. Let's go ahead and go to my YouTube channel. Let's go ahead and play one of my latest videos. Oh, actually quicker here on the Galaxy S2. Quite interesting. Again, it was quicker on the Galaxy S2. Again, quicker on the Galaxy S2. Wow, I'm kind of impressed. Here we can also see how the display performs in terms of loading a video. Which one looks better? That's a very, very good question. I'm pretty sure that for me personally, I would prefer this True HD IPS display here. It really looks good, especially, you know, that it looks more real in some kind of way. But I still like colors though, you know. So yeah, quick little look there also. Seems like the Galaxy S2 here. Seems like the Galaxy S2 performed better in terms of loading videos. So quite interesting there. Quite interesting for me personally. If you go ahead now and click a quick loading look here at Google Maps. There we go. Let's go ahead and bring that away. And let's go ahead and tap up here. Okay, I have to enable some kind of weird thing here, and I think this is kind of bad. I'm not sure what this is. Enable Google Apps location access. How do I do that? Okay, so I gotta say that personally, you know, I can't enable the GPS here on the Nexus 4 just because I don't know how to enable Google Apps location access. I mean, like, I already turned on the GPS. So I gotta say also here in terms of, you know, the GPS area, seems like the Galaxy S2, definitely there is the winner over the Nexus 4. Let's go ahead and continue now. And let's go ahead and load up some quick Twitter here. There we go. Seems like it's, let's see here. Let's see which one loads quicker. Go ahead and drop. There we go. I think the Nexus 4 is quicker. Yes, the Nexus 4 is a little bit quicker here. Let's go ahead and tap on this. Kind of the same, but I really think the display looks a little bit more real here on the Nexus 4. But then it also depends on what, you know, what you prefer. You know, you really have to look at these displays, you know, for yourself. I also think a big thing here is that because the touch buttons sometimes aren't as good, because when you're in games, you can accidentally touch them, and that is not fun, my friends. That is not fun. Let's go ahead and tap on this. There we go. Tiny bit quicker on the Nexus 4. Tiny bit quicker again. There we go. Also tiny bit quicker. Tiny bit quicker. And again, a little bit quicker. So, you know, the Nexus 4 there also is the winner. Loading up stuff a little bit quicker. You know, not extremely big deal there, but, you know, a little bit. Let's go ahead and fire up Spotify. There we go. A little bit quicker on the Nexus 4. Everything is a little bit quicker. But then we should also remember that we're only rocking 4.0 ICS here. I want to, you know, rock the thing that most people are using right now. But it really doesn't seem to be that of a big deal. Let's go ahead and see if we can go ahead and fire up a game here. Let's see if we do have, No, it doesn't seem like we have the same kind of game here running on both these two devices. That do kind of sucks. But I've already made a gameplay video here, and I've been trying out the GTA games, as I've already been stating, on the Nexus 4 here, and I just recently made a video doing that. So let's go ahead and check out the game a little bit quicker here. GTA Vice City on the Galaxy S2. But it didn't perform as I were expecting and from people saying Adrenaline 320 is oh so good, and it could be because Rockstar need to optimize their game for, that they need to optimize it for Adrenaline 320. I'm not sure, but I'll just be taking a quick look here so I can quickly remind myself how the game was performing on the Galaxy S2. Okay, let's see. And it should kind of perform good now when I think about it, because it is rocking a Mali 400 MP, same as the Galaxy S3, but on the Galaxy S3 it's like overclocked. Let's see here. Oh yeah. It's performing extremely nice here on the Galaxy S2, and it's kind of like better than what you would get on the Nexus 4. So a little bit disappointing there with the Nexus 4, in terms of performance. It should actually rock better. I haven't had a single issue right now when I'm trying the game. Really amazing performance. It loads up things fast, and oh my god, no problem whatsoever. Oh no. But yeah, no problem. A really good performance here on the Galaxy S2, so definitely something that I do appreciate more. The gaming is better on the Galaxy S2 and the Galaxy S3 than on the Nexus 4, it seems like, at the moment. So let's go ahead now and continue to do some quick speed testing here. And it kind of should be the same. I mean, like, you've been seeing some real life performance, but people also want to see this kind of performance. So you can see we're doing the same. Maybe a little bit more stable here on the Nexus 4 because it's newer software, I'm not sure. You see I'm rocking the same kind of server. Performs good here also on the Galaxy S2. There we go, so 2720. The Nexus 4 still was better though, so let's go ahead and try one more time. Again, really good score here on the Nexus 4. While the Galaxy S2 is getting a little bit lower. Not that big, but around 10 megabits here and there. So let's go ahead and do this one final time and see which one is the winner. Seems like the Nexus 4 will take home this kind of round over here. Yes, definitely the Nexus 4 is clearly the winner in terms of speed here. In terms of stability over here, it is a lot better. If you go ahead now and continue and let's go ahead and check out some voice. Of course you get Google Now in the latest version of Android, so you can do some cool things like what is 2 plus 2?
The answer is 4.
Define Bill Gates.
Software company made him the youngest.
Set alarm for 6 p.m.
Setting alarm.
So as you can see, you can do a lot of cool things here with Google Now. While you don't have Google Now in Android 4.0.4, but when Samsung released Android 4.0.2 for the Galaxy S2, which should happen around like January, I think, next month, you can get Google Now and do those cool things. Or else you can use S Voice. So as you can see here, if I double tap.
What would you like to do?
Oops, wait a sec. Oh, wait a sec, this is Vlingo. I need to activate S Voice. Wait a sec, I'm really not sure. Do I have S Voice in... I have voice command, but I don't... Yeah, you get S Voice in Android 4.1 like Jelly Bean, I'm pretty sure. Now you only have Vlingo voice assistant, which kind of works with a lot of things, but it's not still...
What would you like to do?
As you can see, you can call people, you can navigate to a place, but it's really not as good as Google Now or like Siri. But still, you know, you have the driving mode, you have play music, but it's still a little bit clunky, and it's powered by Lingo. But I still prefer S voice that you get in like Android 4.1 Jelly Bean. I'm just gonna go ahead and take a quick look here again. No, I don't have that. Okay, that's kind of weird. I thought that I was going to have that. To take a quick look here also in terms of, you know, benchmarking, let's go ahead and fire up a program here called Antutu Benchmark. As you can see, I made this already once. I get almost 1,000 or 10,000. Well, I got 15,000 here. So still not, you know, the Galaxy still performs very, very good for being almost 2 year old. Let's go ahead and do it again though, because now I have some apps open up running in the background. But here you can really see that black is more black again. It's a little bit more grayish kind of look here on the Galaxy S2, or you know, on the Nexus 4, of course. I mean. Yo, people. Soon finished here. And you can really see here again the color. Okay, we got a higher score now. Wow. Almost 17,000 on the Nexus 4. Yeah. Yeah, that's very good. The Galaxy S2 is finishing up here. Is it gonna get better as well? Better than 10,000. Come on, man. Come on, you can do it, bro. Yes! I got over 10,000. But I mean, like, performance-wise, I mean, like, this one got 10,000, this one got almost 17,000. It's still very good on both. Very good on both, but the Galaxy S2 still is good boy. It's a very good boy still. Performance-wise here, you can see things that's better, especially, is the CPU here on the Nexus 4. But the GPU, yeah, the GPU should also be a lot better on the Nexus 4. But in terms of gaming, I haven't really seen that. But I'm gonna go ahead and continue to test other games on the Nexus 4, and we will see. RAM also better, you know. Most things are better here. IO kind of the same. So quick little look there of some benchmarking, so you can definitely see the potential there and what you actually can do with the Nexus 4. Hopefully developers will optimize games more for Adreno 320. Doesn't really seem like they've done that right now. If you go ahead and take also a quick look here at some Kindle reading. Here, this is the strong thing here with the Nexus 4, I think personally. When I look at this display now in real life, definitely, you know, a lot brighter display here on the Nexus 4. If you go ahead and make the text super tiny on both these two devices, you can see the Kindle is also a little bit laggy on the Nexus 4. I'm really not sure why. I'm just gonna go ahead. The text is super tiny right now. Super tiny on the Nexus 4. While we're gonna go ahead and do the same thing here. You can never see that Kindle is more optimized for, you know, the Samsung device here, because as you can see right now when I tap on menu, when I go down here, you can see that the text automatically is updating live. There we go. So let's see. I'm just gonna go ahead and take a look at these very close for me personally first before I show it to the camera. But yeah, I mean, like, there you can really see that the text is super small here on the Nexus 4, but it's still very clear. So it's extremely nice. While the text is a little bit more fat, you know, still good, you know, you can still read it, but that kind of nice, very look here, you know, definitely the Nexus 4 is a lot better in terms of reading, and especially if you like small fonts, you know, it's like eye candy that you get 100 more pixels per inch on the Nexus 4 compared to the Galaxy S2, and that display is brighter. That's also something that's extremely nice in terms of you know, reading. And also, if you take a look at the camera, pretty quick here. So I'm just gonna go ahead and fire up the camera. Let's see here, fire up the camera first here on the Galaxy phone. Notice the kind of shutter speed, and also when we go close here, very nice. In terms of software wise, you can't really do much here. You don't have any effects in Android 4.0.3 or 4.0.4 Ice Cream Sandwich. But of course that will come very soon to the Galaxy S2, will be better. But you know, software wise, let's see here, very quick focus still. You know, this is very good for most people. When we go ahead and take a look at the camera here on the Nexus 4, you can never see that the software is a lot more clean looking here. But when we move around here a little bit, it's a little bit more choppy, and also, you know, it doesn't really feel that it's focusing up this, you know, kind of same speed, but the software is a lot better here on the Nexus 4. You just look at this cool thing here. If you want to, you know, change settings, you don't have to go into the menu like on the Galaxy S2. You just hold in a finger on the screen, and then you have different modes here that you can quickly, you know, toggle, and then you drop. And then if you want to take a picture, you can take a picture just like that. But it doesn't seem like none of these devices have this ultra quick burst mode. Also something that I realized, it also seems like focusing on stuff seems to be a little better also on the Galaxy S2 and the Galaxy S3's camera. You know, it seems like text is getting a little bit more crisp when you know, take a picture from something far behind or something like that. But I'm not a camera expert. You know, I just take, you know, pictures of, you know, cool things like, you know, nasty stuff. So I don't have to have extremely good camera, you know, because I don't need all the details of nasty stuff. But I still would prefer the Galaxy S2's camera software there. I mean, like, in terms of software, okay, the Nexus 4 is the winner. But in the sensor and the technology behind that it doesn't lag when I move around the camera, things like that, with the Galaxy S2, that's something why I would pick it, you know, over the Nexus 4, because that's really important for me. But then also, you know, if you take, you know, normal pictures, you know, you need good white balance, the Nexus 4 definitely will be the winner for you. So this was just a quick look here, checking out these two devices. I hope you have enjoyed this video. I will be doing more stuff. For me personally, the winner is the Galaxy S2, because in my country right now, the Galaxy S2, it is cheaper. It seems like it performs better in gaming. I'm very used to the Super AMOLED displays, and I think that even though it's rocking a dual-core processor, in terms of gaming, it seems like it has much bigger support. Also, software-wise, it has millions of people have the Galaxy S2, so that's why there's a lot different kinds of firmwares and custom things I can already install right now. And also, what I prefer on the Galaxy S2 is I prefer that they have that you can turn on the device on the front side. Because of course you can't do that on the Nexus one. I can just tap here over this to open it up like that, and I kind of like that. So I don't really care if it has a dual-core processor. The GPU still performs better, and it seems like it has bigger support right now than Adreno 320. Adreno 320 might get better in Antutu, but overall it doesn't really seem that awesome. So which one? What are the advantages of the Nexus 4? I mean, of course you have the removable battery option here as well. Of course you have the SD card option, which is a lot better. I think that those things that I prefer with the Nexus 4 is, the display is so much better in terms of browser and stuff like that, and reading, and that it has a high resolution display. And also, if you like these capacitive touch buttons, it really is a clean kind of UI here. And also the glass back there, it really could be cool. It's not good when it's on the table, but if you hold it up and zoom in and stuff like that, it's not really that bad, and it kind of feels better. Has a little bit more quality feel, but still, it's nothing for me. As I've been stating, the things why I would pick the Galaxy S2. Pricing is better. The GPU seems to be better. The camera, I kind of like that, and that it doesn't lag and stuff like that. And if I want to, I can flash already right now Android Home 2 Jelly Bean on my Galaxy S2. So kind of a lot of cool things there. But software-wise, it's so cool here with the Nexus device that it's going to get the latest version of Android quicker than everyone else. But it's still a very nice phone. But Samsung really succeeded with their Galaxy S2 and Galaxy S3, and hopefully next year a Galaxy S4. So quick little video, quick little look. Hope you have enjoyed. And now you can, if you like this video, please leave a like down below. And if you want to comment something, you can also go ahead and do that right now. So just have an awesome day right now, and I'll see you all in the next video. Yeah, peace out.